Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to help Restaurant Kazoo by developing solutions to manage restaurant congestion. My team and I read your case, and we worked together to come up with improvements for your operation, and we are thrilled to share our findings with you today. Kazoo is a full-service restaurant in Quebec, Canada. Currently, Kazoo is very popular, and because of this, there are long waits to be seated, and it discourages customers who may be interested. Kazoo has the potential to increase revenue through increasing capacity, however, they only have 2 weeks to do so. Kazoo also emphasizes the importance of customer well-being, so while considering options, we have to consider the happiness of the customers. Another important point is that full-service restaurants in Quebec earn 40 to 50% more revenue than quick service, so we eliminated the idea of a quick service restaurant. Two major constraints that currently limit Kazoo is the space of the restaurant and the limited operating hours. Shown here, we have a flowchart of Kazoo. The average wait time a customer is in the building is 59 minutes, and this can be divided throughout different periods. When a customer walks through the door, they have an average wait time of 14 minutes to be seated. After being seated, they have an average wait time of 3 minutes until they place their order. From there, they have an average wait time of 4 minutes for food to be delivered. Customers generally spend 35 minutes eating and waiting to pay for their meal. After payment, the customer generally leaves within a minute of paying. Currently, there are no queues and customers congregate around the front of the restaurant while waiting. This is not ideal as it discourages customers and creates for a manic environment. Kazoo also has limited operating hours as they are closed all day Tuesday and Wednesday, as well as Saturday for lunch. This is due to the chef having to prep food on Saturday morning, and without him, the restaurant is non-operational. They close Tuesday and Wednesday to ease pressure off the busy week, shop for ingredients, and prep more food. However, they are losing the revenue that they could potentially make on those days. Finally, the menu items are priced drastically different with low-priced tunables to high-priced specialty items, and each menu item has varying prep times. When evaluating the current operation of this restaurant, we wanted to ensure that we set clear goals that are realistic and would reflect how we can better compete in the market. Our first goal is to increase operating hours by a total of 12.5 hours each week. The majority of restaurants in Montreal operate 4 to 5 days, Monday through Friday, and Kazoo is currently only open for 3 days during the week, plus a part of the weekend. An increase in 12.5 service hours would mean opening for lunch and dinner on one additional weekday, as well as adding lunch service on Saturdays. Our second goal is to increase revenue by 20%. Our solutions should support attaining this increase due to the increased hours of operation and maximizing efficiency through other means. The 20% value was computed through a comparison of hours currently in operation and future hours that we hope to attain. Since we are proposing an increase that is close to a 20% increase in operating hours, as well as other operational changes, we are confident in the ability to reach this goal. Additionally, we have set the goal of seeing an increase of 15% in customers served per week. We arrived at this figure by accounting for areas that we believe can improve upon in regard to the capacity planning and forecasting demand. These figures will be highlighted in a later part of this presentation as we get into the specific solutions that we are proposing. With the data and information that was presented, we calculated a number of valuable insights about Restaurant Kazoo. Something important to note from these calculations is that the average number of customers being served is equal to the average queue length, essentially creating a 1-to-1 ratio. This means that for as many customers that are being served in the restaurant, there is approximately the same number of customers waiting. When looking at the operation side of things, we calculated the utilization rates in order to show how the work is distributed for both servers and chefs. As shown on the slide, the utilization rate for chefs is much more than it is for servers. This proves that each chef is responsible for more work, which is most likely due to the small number of chefs at the restaurant. This fishbone diagram shows the causes of increased wait times and in turn the loss of customers and profitability. The root causes, as seen in the light blue boxes, are as follows: capacity constraints, limited operations, demand variability, and utilization rates. Starting with capacity constraints, Restaurant Kazoo has limited physical capacity due to seating arrangements with a max capacity of 30 customers. Additionally, there is a minimal number of service employees. Demand variability also plays a large role in waiting lines. As seen in the restaurant's files, the majority of the restaurant's customers come in the first few hours of dinner service, and this can create longer wait times during those hours. Limited operations is one of the biggest factors that is holding Restaurant Kazoo back from reaching its full potential. With store operating hours and the number of days closed for preparation or vacation, the restaurant is missing the opportunity to serve customers and hence pushing them all to come at one time. The final root cause is the utilization rates. When looking at the server utilization rate of 28%, the work is fairly well distributed among the servers. On the other hand, the chef's utilization rate is 50%. This is due to the small number of chefs working on numerous orders at a time. Our first proposal is to increase hours of operation. Currently, the restaurant is closed 2.5 days out of the week, so the owners have time to shop and the chefs have time to prep food. If the restaurant stays open 6 days out of the week, that will lead to an automatic increase in revenue. We also suggest that the restaurant hires more people. We looked at many factors to determine what kind of help is needed. First of all, we suggest that you hire a manager that can assist in running the restaurant when the owners have to go shopping or when they go on vacation, so the restaurant does not have to stay closed for extended periods of time when they are gone. Next, we looked at the utilization rates for chefs and servers. The goal is to have enough staff to minimize wait time, but not so many as to be cost inefficient. If we want to effectively lower wait time and the probability of customers leaving, we must lower the utilization rates that we currently have. The chefs currently have a utilization rate of 50%, which is fairly steep, and the servers have a utilization rate of 28.57%, which isn't terrible, but it should be lower because at these rates we currently have one potential customer leaving for every 3 that are served. Looking at these rates and considering an increase in hours of operation, we suggest hiring enough chefs to have 6 working each shift rather than 4. This would lower utilization rate to 33%, which is more reasonable. Having the extra chefs on the clock will be beneficial when the restaurant is busy and when they are slow. The extra help can prep food for the next day, so there is no need to close the restaurant for food preparation anymore. As for the servers, we suggest hiring enough to have 8 servers working each shift. This will lower the utilization rate down to a reasonable 25%. In order to remain cost efficient, as business slows down later in the night, the servers should be cut depending on how many customers are still there. Our next suggestion is to reduce menu items. According to your company files, the tuna salad rice bowl only takes 3 minutes to prep. This item should stay on the menu due to the short prep time, and when decreasing the number of items on the menu, we can increase the variety for the quicker options. This would mean offering a chicken, tuna, salmon, tofu, and a veggie rice bowl, all of which would take 3 minutes to prep. The items that we need to get rid of are the special items that take up to 15 minutes to prepare and require special trips to the store, such as the $39 tuna belly. Our last suggestion would be taking reservations and encouraging customers to make reservations so we can evenly spread out the arrival time of customers rather than having everyone come at the same time. To encourage reservations, you could offer an incentive such as a free drink or a small discount. As for walk-ins, they will still be accepted, and we suggest developing a waiting queue system that would show every customer how much more time is left until they can be seated, and if customers can see exactly how close they are to being seated, they are less likely to leave. We would like to follow up 2 months after implementing these improvements to ensure the results are in full effect. When looking at goal number 1, we would look for the impact that increasing operation hours had on the overhead rate, which is the total fixed cost divided by the total amount of hours open. We will see that the increased hours of operation will lead to a decreased overhead rate. When looking at goal number 2, the increased hours will ultimately lead to more customers. This increase in revenue will positively impact the profit margins, as they should raise by 20% from 3.9% to 4.68%. We will follow up by looking at new profit margins. When looking at goal number 3, the study showed 1 customer leaving for every 3 served. We would like to retain all possible customers, and we will follow up by seeing how many customers are served and if any left without service. Although we feel strongly about our proposed solutions, there are anticipated risks to be aware of. For our first 2 proposed solutions, we anticipate labor costs and training time for new employees to be a potential risk. The hiring and training of new staff can be costly for any company, and it is important for us to ensure that our revenue continues to be profitable following these changes. Another risk for hiring new employees would be a lack of effective scheduling, as fluctuations in the restaurant's busy periods may lead to over or understaffing. An anticipated risk when reducing the number of menu items would be turning away customers due to the menu changes, and changes to the menu not only decreases variety, but may eliminate popular items for existing customers. Lastly, spreading out arrival time using waiting queues and reservations may alter the customer service provided by the restaurant. Wait queues may force the restaurant to only prioritize increasing foot traffic in the restaurant, devaluing the importance of providing the quality customer service they are known for. We would like to thank you for coming to us with this issue and for considering our suggested improvements. If you would like to implement our ideas, we look forward to working with you to do so. Thank you for your time and have a great day.